sheets, makes the pillows softer. You know, it just sort of smooths things out. And one night I decided that I want 2 glasses, but I don't really want to drink that much. And so, cranberry juice, I'm supposed to be drinking that. It cleanses your blood. So I started mixing it half and half, or the cranberry juice and wine. So now I have 2 glasses of my red Lexer, you know. And it's, I've even learned now to drink cranberry juice straight. It's good. Anyway, Art League just would not get off their, wouldn't make a commitment. So one night I went to bed and I thought, by golly, if I can make the deadlines, I'm just going to do it. And the next morning I called the American Artist and the Artist magazine and found that their deadlines were the 12th and 13th. This was November 1st. And the lady on the phone asked me, said, and what is the name of your art school? You know, I'm asking, okay, if I wanted to list an art school, what would I need to do? And she tells me, and what's the name of your art school? Well, so I looked out the backyard, and there was a bayou in my backyard, and I had a lot of oak trees, and I said, Bayou Oaks Artist Colony. I was so glad she didn't ask me how long has that existed, because the answer would have been, you know, heartbeat. But it did allow us to start offering a whole lot of art workshops, and we wound up, after 5 years, sure enough, we had created so many new artists that our art league was viable, vibrant, lots of new people to do all the jobs. We started having, instead of this empty studio, which is what it was, empty all the time. It was so empty that the theaters used it to build sets in. Well, to this good day, they still have 3 paint-ins a week. You don't have to go pay to take an art class there. You just show up Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and there'll be people painting, and they'll show you what you want to know. That, to me, is Art League at its best. Just, that's what needs to happen every place. But it's hard to make it happen, you know. But it's happening there. Just Google up or put in Brazosport Center for the Arts and Sciences, and you'll see a viable, going Jenny there. I'm very, very proud of that, and that it stuck, that I came up with plans for raising money, for running schools, for getting people together that worked well enough that I've been gone for 13 years now, and it's still functioning. It wasn't dependent on me at all. It was just a good plan, you know, like that.
So what made you uproot your life and come to the Pacific Northwest?
My husband always wanted to retire to Washington. And we came up here and looked for 3 days, and it became clear to me, if we want something, it's going to take more than 3 days. It also became clear to me that the housing market here was about to have a real, you know, upbeat thing happen, because they'd passed some laws that limited how much building could go on. And so I felt like if we're going to try to move out there when you retire, we better get into that housing market now. So my job became to come out here and find a place that would be, I guess, the Segway house, a place that would cause us to be able to be here a month and get oriented enough to find something that was really the house we wanted. He loved to grow flowers, and that was the big, big thing here. I imagine at this point, if we hadn't broken up, that he'd be a big-time lavender farmer. That's what my guess is. The little house that we bought, the way I planned to pay for it was to offer art workshops. Down there, my little purple flyer was so trusted. I ran about 40 workshops a year with me teaching or other people teaching, and it was so trusted that the big art supply stores in Houston would call and say, "Oh, Judy, we need you to bring us some more of your purple flyers. We're nearly out." You know, that was cool. And I knew that if across the front of that flyer I plastered a new kind of workshop, and the one that it would be trusted, I knew I would have at least 50% occupancy the first summer. And the workshop you can go lots of places and learn how to paint like that artist that's teaching, but I don't know of any place you can go and learn to paint like yourself. I'd run enough workshops, seen enough people teach, that I felt I could do that. I felt I could help people find their own style. And there are times, in addition to that, that artists need a retreat. After my mother died, I took care of her as she was dying. And the last thing we did together, we did very well. It's a very sweet memory. But it did leave me in a very different space. That would have been an ideal time to go someplace and have a week or two of just getting back. When an artist is starting to work for a new show, sometimes they know they want to go some direction that's a little different from where they are, but they're not real sure where. That's when they need a place where they go and they're encouraged to paint what's in them. Another time is when you're finishing. You're about to, you're a month away or 2 months away or something from hanging a major exhibit. Say, the mental state of the energy in the state that keeps you from running into tables or even reading a book or conversing or something is so much lower than the energy level required for finishing. Hi there.
Aloha.
You got something for me?
Perhaps I do.
Well, I can't imagine what. I don't know if I knew I was here.
Oh, you're here.
But when you're finishing, I liken it to in Ben-Hur, the movie. The guys are rowing. You've seen it? You've seen Ben-Hur? The guys are rowing, and the drummer at the front is doing this. And then they want to speed up to some other speed. And so the drummer starts going faster. And then they get up to ramming speed. And it's like, well, that's the difference in your mental energy. When you're just painting and when you're finishing. When you're finishing, you're in a different energy state.
That one piece of mail there?
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to
Give you
take
those.
care of.
I didn't realize you're going to have a neighbor.
And so I wanted to provide a workshop for those three instances. Something in life has separated you. Something you're starting, something you're finishing. Sometimes you're just lost. The rules were going to be you sit in your studio. If you look at the wall, you stay in there and you have nothing on your mind but getting to where you need to be. Or out on the mountainside painting. Well, it was a big dream, but when I lost Joel, well, all of that kind of fell apart. And then I went through a number of years of trying to find right side up again. I didn't do anything goofy, but, I went through the substitute teaching and all of that mess, thinking I gotta make a living. But, so